selection, your scanning and capture considerations, collaboration, risk management, process automation, knowledge worker productivity, governance, and change management. So, your platform selection, I love this cartoon. We have lots of information technology, we just don't have any information. So, first of all, this seems like a big duh. Set your business objectives. Why are we doing this? And think of both short-term and long-term objectives. And how are we going to know or recognize when we've met those objectives? Getting that set first will definitely determine a platform choice. What is it about ECM? What is it about what you've heard today? Whether we're talking web content management, we're talking document management, records management, business process, email management. What is it about that you like, that you think will improve your businesses? And does your platform choice support that? And can you get most of that with that platform? That's a question to ask yourself. Can you get that functionality out of the box, or is there going to be a lot of custom work? And that leads to your internal resources. How big is your IT bench? Do you have an IT bench that's big enough to do a lot of custom work? Do you need that? And is that the best use of your own staff time and resources? Do you buy it or rent it? We didn't really even talk about the fact that there are some solution providers around this room that offer complete software as a service options or cloud computing. You don't any longer have to necessarily take on the ownership, those long-term depreciation issues or ownership. You can get those services from a different party in a secure environment. And then finally, how comfortable are you in reliance on a single vendor architecture stack? You may, but you may not. And again, that's why some of the interest in open source, while some of the interest in some of the interoperability standards. So whatever platform you've got, and it may be perfect and great for you, when it comes to content interoperability, you're not so tied down. No, not there, please. That's where I'm going to put my head. Let's face it, paper is still part of our world today. That's not the solution, Christian. Scanning and capture checklist. What are the things you need to consider in purchasing? Obviously, document types. That's going to determine what scanner that you use. How much of it? What format? Is it black and white? Is it color? Is it grayscale? All of those will determine. How far back are you going to go? Are you going to try to finally tackle those boxes and boxes of files that you might have sent off to Iron Mountain for storage? Or are you going to pick a point in time, get your processes in order, and start from there? So people call that day forward or back file conversion, right? But it is a serious question to ask, particularly, what do you do with the paper? What do you do with the paper that you scanned and you digitized it? Remember we said that a good, 59% of people still needed to keep a paper copy. So what are you going to do with it? If you do keep the paper copy, then that hasn't really satisfied your storage issues, your HR issues, your security issues. And I think our friends at Kofax said very, very well, are you doing this to just create an archive of that document? Are you doing this to drive a process? And think about that. That's where all of these recognition and extraction technologies come in. I try to explain the business that I'm in to my family, and I think in the most layperson's terms, I say, I'm not taking a picture of that document just to get rid of the paper and have now a digital copy. I'm taking a picture of that document so that I can extract and use the things that are on that form, like a signature or an address line. Think how many different processes that piece of information and data can drive. And that's really what a lot of our technologies around the room are designed to do. That's pretty cool stuff. And it's been around for a long, long time. There's that word training we're going to see in all of our checklists today. Most projects fail because organizations did not allocate enough resources or the change management that's going in there. Here's your collaboration checklist. Hi, my name is Barry and I check my email 200 to 300 times a day. You know what the millennials would say? Loser. Because that's still a drag on productivity now. It is. If you think that is collaboration, you're wrong. It's still a major carrier for many of us. Many of us are still tied to our inboxes. And that volume is increasing all the time. But that's not collaboration. What is your collaboration checklist? We talked about this content continuum. We talked about the fact that some people say, you know what, I've got my Facebook, I've got my Twitter accounts, and I'm just doing that outside of work. And then inside the firewall, you know, we're allowed to blog. We've got some approved things. Have a policy. Have a policy that is based on objectives, and have a policy that's based on intuitive business decisions. Are you going to embrace these new technologies in a way that drives new customers, that might improve your customer service, that helps your marketing efforts? But have a policy, because your knowledge workers are going to go and play around and fiddle with these tools anyway. It's so much better to have a holistic view and a policy. And again, that has to refer to inside and outside of the firewall. The two right now are pretty separate. But those organizations that are truly going to achieve competition, they're going to be market leaders, are the ones that figure this out. And it should be something that your business, line of business owners are pushing, not just IT. Whether that's an encouragement, let's use it, or no, you can't use that. We say take a Jesuit approach. Pick one. Pick one thing, pick one process, and be minimalist and start out and test it before you push it out to the rest of the organization. What are you going to need to retain? Do you need to retain the stuff that you're sending via your tweets, that you're putting in wikis? Don't forget the records management, document management aspect of that. There's that training again. And integrating it. You know, we know you've got other systems that you're trying to do. You've got ERP systems. You've got your document management systems. How are these tools going to be integrated there? And organic. What we found at AIIM is that we tried a little tool, I don't mind telling you, it's called Yammer. It's free. And we did that just internally to see, could we help communication within our organization? And what we did is, you've used it too. It's pretty cool. It's pretty easy. Again, these tools are easy, and nobody trains you. Nobody trains you on how to use Facebook, but your workers are going to find out, because it is pretty easy, and they need to know and they want to know. But the idea with Yammer within AIIM is, we didn't say, you're now going to use Yammer, and it's a really cool tool. You're going to love it, and I want you to use it immediately. We just said, here it is. A few of us are going to start using it. No pressure. And now it is more successful than any kind of intranet that we've ever tried to do, any kind of other communication. And this isn't a pitch for that product. There are many other products out there. But we let people just play around with it organically. And we do find that our UK counterparts, we have a UK Europe office who felt always a little bit like the stepchildren. They now feel like they're much more in control. And it's not relying on that email, that sort of asynchronous, you know, I sent you something, now I'm waiting. Now it's completely, we can see how people responded to other people's message. It is a one. Your risk management checklist. On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. We talked about different risk. Obviously, there is identity risk, and we are so much the victims of litigation and those additional pressures.